Hi, I'm Courtenay Lesniak with the Lesniak Group at Berkshire Hathaway, and I'm here with Heather Miller from Keystone Real Estate Settlement Services. So Heather, what is title insurance?
So, first thing you may want to ask is, what is title? So title is a right of ownership for a specific piece of real estate. Title can change when you sell the property. It can change by will, court decree, or law. So anytime title is transferred, it is recorded with a deed, which is the legal document, at your county clerk's office. So title insurance is an insurance policy that actually protects that right of ownership, okay? And it can protect against future loss resulting from various defects that can exist.
So what kind of rights am I protecting?
So typically your rights as an owner are called fee simple rights. This is the legal term that describes all of the rights you have in your property as the owner. You can have different types of rights as an owner. You can have leasehold estate rights, you can have estate rights or inherited rights, heir rights, those type of things. Title insurance guarantees that you own the entire property and no one else has a claim against your rights.
So what is a title search and what issues can the search reveal?
So title search is actually one of my favorite parts of what we do. It's where I learned how to do what we do, basically. And a title search is a detailed examination of the historical records concerning your property. The purpose of the title search is to verify that the sellers own the property and their rights to transfer ownership. You also want to discover any claims or defects, other rights or burdens on the property. Title search can show a number of defects and liens. Among those would be unpaid taxes, unsatisfied mortgages, judgments against the seller, restrictions that limit your use of the land. A standard title search is going to examine the property for a time frame of up to 60 years, at least 60 years, and we search all of those owners of record for that time frame.
So why am I required to buy the lender a title insurance policy?
So most banks are going to require a title insurance policy to be purchased for their benefit. This will protect their position as the lien holder for your property. And if you do not pay that lien, the bank wants to make sure that they are guaranteed to be paid first if your property would be foreclosed on or sold. Title insurance is a guarantee that the lender would be in first lien position.
What are some potential hidden risks that would not show up in a title search, and how does the title insurance protect against those?
So there are always those unforeseen things, those hidden hazards that even the most diligent title searcher may not find. For instance, fraud or forgeries, defective deeds, mental incompetence issues. We don't always know if somebody is competent or not when they sign something. Confusion due to similar or identical names, especially in these smaller towns. People don't like to use middle initials, stuff like that. It's very hard to determine if somebody is our right person. There's clerical errors, misindexing of the actual records. Those defects can arise after you purchase your home, and they can jeopardize your right as the owner. Title insurance is going to pay to defend against any lawsuit attacking your title as your insured. And that includes attorney fees that you may need to hire an attorney to defend those rights. The title insurance will clear up any of the title issues that do arise, or they will pay your loss that you have incurred. So owner's title insurance is a one-time fee, and it remains in effect for the lifetime that you own that property or your heirs have an interest in that property.
Are there any different types of policies that can be purchased?
Absolutely. So just like any other product on the market, title insurance is no different, and there are other products or insurance policies that you guys can purchase. There is always a choice, and it is always your choice as the buyer what policy you want and who you want your settlement agent to be. So as the buyer, those are always your choices and options. So your lender is going to require a basic or a standard title insurance policy to be issued. And you as the buyer are going to be able to purchase between the basic or standard or the enhanced policy. The basic rate would cover certain items, and then the enhanced policy just gives additional coverage for additional things and more specific items, such as post-policy forgeries and building permit issues are kind of the two key items that I always like to touch on when I'm talking about the enhanced policy. So even though you are purchasing two separate policies, you're paying what's called a simultaneous rate, to where you're not paying for two individual policies. So you're paying for a discounted rate for that simultaneous policy to give you insurance as the owner and give the lender insurance as the lender or insured party there. So I just want to make sure that you remember that title insurance is a state-regulated fee, and no matter who you're calling for quotes or anything like that, they should be quoting you the same rate.
Is a title company and settlement agent the same thing? And don't you have to be an attorney?
Yeah, good question. So a title company is responsible for finding issues that could arise when transferring your title. A settlement agent's job is to do the actual paperwork to transfer the ownership of the property. In most cases, these will be handled by the same company. So a title company and a settlement company would be the same, like Keystone would be. In Pennsylvania, you don't have to be an attorney to do this type of service. Our office is comprised of 2 state licensed title agents is our title, and we basically do the job of an attorney that they would do in the settlement process, but we don't have to be an attorney to do that. So attorneys can handle all types of law. They do litigation, they do estates, and they can do real estate. Whereas a licensed title agent, I specifically just handle real estate transactions.
What does a settlement closing agent do?
So once we have received a copy of the accepted sales agreement, our first step is performing that title search that we talked about. We want to know what we're looking at, what liens need to be paid off, what taxes we have to take care of, and we have to make sure that the actual owner that signed that sales contract is who is legally able to sell the property. So the title search is going to provide any warnings or title flaws that we have to deal with before we can exchange hands, before that property can exchange hands. The closing agent's going to order the mortgage payoffs or any lien payoffs that we need to take care of, judgment payoffs, that sort of thing. We're going to obtain the current tax certification, HOA fees, just as well as any other fees that need to be collected at settlement, such as real estate agent fees. Once all those fees have been collected, we will prepare a settlement statement and we will work with the lender. If applicable. I mean, not all transactions have a mortgage involved. So if you're paying cash for it, then we just work with the real estate agents involved and the involved parties. We prepare the closing disclosure with the lender if there's one involved, and that's just an outline of all of the fees and costs for both your buyer and your seller. So we will sit down at the settlement table with you guys, and we ensure that all those documents are signed correctly, and we disperse the funds, answer any questions that you may have, those sort of things. After closing, we're going to record the deed and mortgage down at the courthouse. Like I said, we disperse all funds. Any money coming in has to go out, and we are going to prepare the actual final lenders and owners title policies and make sure those get sent out to the correct parties there.
How long does closing normally take?
So a typical closing is going to take between 30 to 60 minutes. It really just depends on the amount of questions or concerns that are brought up at the table. We just try to make sure that any time that the clients need to ask those questions, they have it and are not rushed through that process.
What can you normally expect at closing?
So the closing is going to be either at the real estate agent's office, my office, or sometimes it's at a lending institution's office. So you'll go into those offices, and in addition to myself, typically there would be real estate agents there. The seller and buyers are normally both present, and sometimes a representative from the bank will be there as well. When you show up to the table, you want to make sure that you bring a valid government photo ID. We have to be able to properly identify you, which it always surprises me how many people show up and don't have their driver's license with them. So if you're a buyer, you're going to want to call ahead of time, either to your real estate agent, your lender, or your settlement company. We all work together. Any one of us should be able to answer the questions for you. But you'll want to call ahead and see the amount that you need to bring to closing and how those funds are supposed to be brought. And most times it'll be either in the form of a cashier's or a certified check or a wire transfer. At my table, the most important thing for me is that everybody feels comfortable. We want everybody there to feel comfortable to ask those questions that they have to ask. And just remember, if something does come up or an issue does arise, you have a whole team of experts that are there working for you to get the job done and get it done correctly.
Thank you so much, Heather, for all that wonderful information. That's perfect for our potential buyers.
It's my pleasure. And just remember, if you have any questions or concerns, we're always available.